I'm Bosch, President of the Australian Parents Council. Federal election campaigns are always crowded with loud voices and even louder advertisements, telling us what's needed, what needs to be done, what the issues are, and so on. We often hear those through an organisational voice. So this year, the Australian Parents Council decided to take a different approach. We hit the streets with a single question, and that was, as a parent, what is the most important education issue for you? Parents had very different views, and they included funding and the future. Funding has received a lot of attention in recent years. How much money is needed for a good quality education? What should it be spent on? And what results should we expect as a result of that investment? For parents, the issue is adequate funding. And for some parents in the non-government sector, the worry is that if funding is not adequate, school fees will rise and it will be impossible to balance the family budget and plan for children's education. It seems too that parents don't have a good understanding of the current approach to funding and the questions around this. From the Australian Parents Council perspective, it is absolutely vital to have a needs-based funding model that is consistent and fair and is predictable so that parents can plan for their children's education. And we believe that parents need to have information about funding that is clearly understandable. It can be complex as it must be behind the scenes, but parents do need to know how funding works and where and why funding is being spent. Parents on the street spoke about what needs to happen and what needs to continue to happen for students with disability and others with additional learning needs. But they despair that we're not yet at the point where the right things are in place: funding, resources and skills to support students with disability so that they can engage in learning and experience good education outcomes and life chances. From the Australian Parents Council's perspective, a lot of good work has been done in recent years, but more needs to be done, and done at different levels and in different contexts. More funding and careful thought about how to use this funding is critical in the non-government sector. And the parents we spoke to emphasised the importance of upskilling teachers so that they can work well with a whole range of disabilities and can be confident and capable in their teaching and in their partnership work with families. Parents also spoke of the role of technology in learning and in future employment. They seem happy that there is plenty of technology in schools, but some wonder whether technology is being used effectively to support children's learning for the 21st century and to accelerate their creativity. Future-focused competencies linked into employment opportunities was a key theme, and it's a theme the Australian Parents Council will continue to take an interest in. Through our street talk and our work with parents in other areas, we know that parents and families are deeply interested in children's learning and in educational opportunities for all children. Some of the themes that parents have talked about in this street campaign: funding, the future, technology, and more concerted efforts to solve the complex issues surrounding children with disability and those with additional learning needs are key areas for attention for the next Australian government.